Hello everyone, my name is Carlos Pardo Gutierrez, and in this video I'm sharing my applied integrative project, which is Teacher Discourse Decentralization plus a redesigned feedback. This is designed for English classes at Universidad Magdalena, and basically it's about reducing silence in class and making participation feel safer and more fair for students. So let's start discussing the classroom reality. This is what I have observed in the classroom. Only a few students speak all the time, while the rest, or the majority, remain in silent. This is not because they don't have ideas, it's usually because they're scared of sounding wrong. They are afraid of making mistakes and they worry about pronunciation. And sometimes we, the teachers, send the message that only certain ways of speaking are acceptable. So little by little, speaking becomes a stressful thing, almost like you're being graded or evaluated every time you speak. Now, why this matters? Why it matters? For many students, the classroom is basically their only chance to interact in English, to use the language. So if they don't speak, they lose the practice that builds language, which is interacting, as I mentioned before, um, negotiating meaning, testing ideas, also getting comfortable, which is really important as well. And then the problem becomes a bigger one because the students who already speak keep improving and the silent ones don't get the same opportunities. Now, this is grounded in some theories. Now, the first theoretical idea comes from the classroom discourse pattern. Um, we know that classrooms don't just teach content, they also build participation through interaction. Um, a very common pattern is the IRFE, which is initiation, a response, feedback, evaluation, where the teacher asks, the student answers, and the teacher evaluates. That structure can work sometimes, but it often gives the teacher the control of turns and puts students in this constant performance mode, you know? So my goal is to change these interactions so students aren't only responding but actually negotiating meaning and taking more active roles in the conversation. Now, another theoretical foundation is language variation and also legitimacy. So, languages naturally vary. We know that by region, by social group, by speaker. That's totally normal. But institutions often treat one variety as the proper one, as the correct way of speaking. And here, a lot of the time, native like English is treated like the goal. And anything that sounds different, like accent, grammar, etc., gets treated as incorrect, as wrong. So students internalize this idea and they avoid speaking. So part of the project is also about creating a classroom where students can feel like legitimate speakers, even if their English is growing, is developing. So, what did I design? Well, I designed two connected changes. The first one is a routine to decentralize teacher talk and restructure participation. The second one, a feedback approach where I respond more like an interlocutor, someone who is interested in meaning, not like a judge looking for mistakes, for errors. So let's see the first tool, which is teacher discourse decentralization. So this is a tool, and I think it's super practical because it has three steps. The first one is the prompt phase. Here I ask an open question like, how does tourism affect our local culture? And I say, don't raise your hand. Then I give students about 45 seconds to think. And the second phase is the rehearsal. So students go into pairs and practice their answers out loud, obviously, for about 2 minutes. This is where confidence starts building, and the idea is that the stronger students help other students, the weaker ones. And the third one, the third phase, is is the performance. And instead of only taking volunteers, I choose someone randomly. And the key is that they share their partner's ideas using a phrase like, my partner thinks this or that. This lowers anxiety and it makes them feel like they are not being judged and that everyone is still participating. Now, the second tool is feedback redesigned. The main change here is that I'm not trying to correct everything publicly. I'm trying to keep the interaction going and prioritize the meaning. So I use strategies like recasts and clarification questions. For example, if a student says, yesterday I gone to the cinema, it is bored. I don't stop them and give a mini grammar lessons, which is something that we teachers usually do. I respond naturally. Oh, you went to the cinema and the movie was boring? Why was it boring? Or I ask, wait, do you mean you felt bored or the movie was boring? So I'm still guiding the students to use better forms, but without shutting them down or turning the moment into a public correction, which can increase, anxiety and the fear of speaking. Now, let's talk about the expected outcomes and evaluation design. So, what do I expect from this? Mainly, more balanced participation, more voices in the classroom. Also, lower anxiety, meaning students take more risks. And also, fluency should improve because they get planning time and rehearsal time before speaking in front of the rest. Um, to evaluate it, I would record classes before and after, track who speaks and for how long, and collect weekly students' reflections so I can see how they actually experience the change. All right. And finally, in terms of next steps, I'm realistic. New routines can feel awkward at the beginning, and time is always limited. So the idea is to start small, to implement this gradually and reflect like what improved participation, what didn't work, what do I adjust. But overall, the purpose stays the same, which is making the classroom a space where students feel safe enough to speak and where their English is treated as valid and legitimate while it keeps growing. So yeah, basically this is my project, and thank you very much for your attention and your time watching this video. I hope you like it.